Hey guys, Tara with House of Tortured Souls. I am here to do a first impressions video on the new movie Us from Jordan Peele. I just got out of it. I just walked in the door and I am here to give you a review. First off, if you are looking at my cool t-shirt, this is the House of Tortured Souls t-shirts. They're available on TeePublic. I will put the link in the video that gets posted. So if you guys want to buy one, I highly recommend it. It's very cool. You can support us. So kind of let's jump into this. I'm going to try to do this as spoiler-free as possible. So if that's something that you guys like, if you want something that's more spoiler-free, let me know. If you want spoilers, let me know. At least for films that have just come out, I'm going to try and make it a little bit more spoiler-free so that people can actually watch it, enjoy it, and then go see the movie and comment later. If you guys totally don't like that, let me know on the comments below. So, I've been really excited for this film, really since Get Out came out. I really liked Get Out. I loved the concept. I really like Jordan Peele. I should say Academy Award winner Jordan Peele. The whole concept was great. I loved Get Out. So, when I heard that he was making another film, and it was going to be another horror type film, I was very excited for it. So I've been kind of pumped to see this since it kind of came out, like hit the mainstream and there was a trailer and everything just kind of kept pumping me up for it. I did a little bit, I know I talked a little bit about the trailer for Us a while back. And I think going into this film, even if you have seen the trailer's not going to help you very much. The trailer's going to basically tell you like 10% of what's going on in this film. So kind of know that just walking into it, that it is not what you guys are expecting. It is very different. And that's kind of the beauty of the film. I'll start off by saying I like how Jordan writes. I do like how he directs. And this was really no exception. I did enjoy the film. Certainly good for me. We bought these tickets a while back. We were pretty much like center of the theater, center stage, and it was pretty cool. So the basic synopsis, at least what I gathered from the original trailer, was that there's a family, Lupia, and I cannot say her name, and I am so sorry, but she's been in everything. She's very good. She's the mom. There's a mom, a dad, a daughter, and a son. And the original trailer was very sketchy on what was going on. There was basically another family that looked just like them that was basically trying to kill them. And that's really all that the trailer really showed, was a lot of just stuff like that. So kind of walking into this, I didn't know what to expect. I know that Jordan is all for double meanings. I know that he is all for kind of putting something under the surface so that you kind of have to think about it and maybe realize that this is more of a social issue. It certainly was with Get Out. So I wasn't exactly sure kind of what to expect on this. My initial thoughts, if you watched my video on that, was that it was going to be more like a home invasion or an invasion of the body snatchers, something that was just, I guess, really basic is the only thing that I could think of, and I kind of knew that it wasn't going to be like that because it's Jordan, but I guess I didn't know where to go from there. So the beginning of the film starts off with Lupia. Again, I'm really sorry, I cannot say her name for the life of me. As a child, and she gets lost, goes through, a little bit of trauma because of it, and fast forward, that's actually set in the 80s, which is really cool, and there's a lot of nostalgic at the beginning of the film, which is really cool. I remember the beginning of the film, they were watching TV or something was on the television, and there was a couple VHS tapes on there, and the Goonies was on there, which I thought was really neat. and it was just kind of gave you a little bit of 80s nostalgia, which was cool. I'm always a big sucker for that. That's the reason I liked Bumblebee, still the reason I like Stranger Things. So it's kind of cool to see that and to get that incorporated, you know, because I'm a child of the 80s, so it's always neat to kind of have that thrown in there. So that's kind of how the beginning of it is. Flash forward to present day with Lupia and her husband, her daughter, and her son. And it kind of just takes... They're going basically to their summer home, it looks like, and shit just kind of goes awry from there. The one cool thing I will say about this, the side characters are so good. Elizabeth Moss plays, it looks like it's a neighbor of theirs by the summer house, but he may also work with the husband. It's a little unsure kind of what their connection is. But Elizabeth Moss, her husband, and then their twin daughters are also in the film. And Elizabeth Moss's character is very good. I love her in Handmaid's Tale. I just think that she's a really great actress. So it was cool to see her in more of a, you know, a different element where she's not, you know, the savior and this amazing person. She's a little bit different of a side character. And I related to her. So if you guys go watch the film, I feel like I am Elizabeth Moss's character with the exception of having kids, but that is me. So I really liked that about it. The whole overall tone of the film was very horror. Get Out was not. Get Out was very thriller. It had some horror elements. It blurred the lines a little bit, which was cool. I have to admit that as big of a horror movie fan as I am, I always like to see films that are trying to blur the lines a little bit, that give you a little bit more thinking capacity, that make you kind of, you know, work for it instead of just throwing in gore and being like, here's a film. That's just how I relate to it now that I'm older. Nothing to be said about, you know, I still love Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2 and, you know, just kind of gore porn type films. But I think when I want to sit down and I want to appreciate a film, I like something that blurs the lines a little bit. This film really didn't do that. Not to say that it wasn't enjoyable, it was. But Get Out definitely blurred the lines of thriller and horror and combined it to really give it more of a mainstream reach. And that's really what got Jordan an Oscar. In this one, it's more of a straight horror film. You know, there's all of this kind of crazy stuff going on. There's a lot of gore in it, which is cool. I'm sure that you've seen the trailers. There's a lot of these gold scissors. And those make a huge appearance, and it's a very, very cool weapon. I like that. I like when a film focuses on a different type of weapon. There's always knives, there's always, you know, chainsaws and machetes and, you know, whatever. But it's cool to have just a different weapon in a film, and you don't really think about scissors. The only other time I can say that scissors were fucking frightening would be Inside, the French film Inside. If you have not seen that, I highly recommend it. And that's the first thing that I kind of thought of with these scissors. I was like, holy shit, is this going to be like an Inside moment? So that was neat to see a different weapon. I liked that, so yeah, congratulations for picking something a little different. I guess I'll kind of dive into what I didn't love about it. Get Out left a lot up to your imagination, and kind of your own thinking capacity. It was a good movie if you didn't put a lot of thought into it, but if you did put a decent amount of thought into it, you kind of figured out what else Jordan was trying to get through your mind. This film, in certain parts, it kind of held your hand and laid everything out and was like, okay, this is what this is what this means, this is what this does, this is who this is why this is there. And there's some films that it's necessary because there's so much going on. In this film, I don't think that it was. And then on the same respect, while there was so much of that going on, there was other things that were not explained at all. And sitting here now, trying to kind of piece together what was going on, I don't know if I really know. And I probably am going to have to watch it maybe a second, third time to really put everything together. Because I think that while there was so much explaining, there was also so much that was really left out. And to me, it didn't really feel like it was something I could piece together by, thinking, oh, well, is this an allegory for something else? Does this have a bigger meaning? It didn't really feel like that to me. It certainly might have that, and maybe upon, rewatching, maybe I'll disagree with myself and say, Tara, you're stupid. Like, obviously this meant this, and this meant this. And, I'll be the first one to admit that I can certainly be wrong on that. But I certainly like the films that just leave it more up to your own imagination and kind of your thinking capacity. And this one was just different in that respect. A lot of it they spelled out that you didn't need it to be spelled out, and a lot of it they just kind of left it, and you were just like, well, what the hell? So that's probably the biggest takeaway that I have of this film, is that brings down my score on it, really. Because I wanted a little bit more explanation in the places that needed a little bit more explanation. The only other stuff that I didn't particularly like was there were certain scenes that felt not totally put together. So stuff would happen and then it'd just end. And then 5 minutes later, it's just a kind of the same thing happening, and you're just like, but didn't we take care of that? I mean, it was just different, I guess, on that. So at some points it felt like it didn't really have much direction. And I don't know if that's Jordan's writing. I don't know if that's an editing. It just felt like the film didn't have a straight kind of path. It was more like, okay, this happens, and then after that happens, we're going to come back and do this, and then we're going to do this, and then nothing was really overlapping. It was more of just like going in, going out. It was just off to me, watching it. I like stuff that, okay, you start here and you can go off on this tangent, and you all kind of circle around. This film didn't really have that. This film didn't really have a straight path, and it felt like all of the characters' little missions and stuff that was going on didn't really connect to each other. So there was a little bit of a disconnect for me as a viewer. I like stuff that, kind of fits in together, even if I have to use some sort of brain capacity to make it happen. This one didn't really do that for me, so there was a little bit of a disconnect there. So I think that brought my score down a little bit lower as well. And I'm always interested, if you guys do see this film and you think I'm off base, absolutely leave me a comment. I'd love to talk about it. There's always different opinions, and I am always open to them, especially on stuff that is brand new. And, obviously I'm doing this 15 minutes after I walk out of the film. So, if you got something totally different from it, please, feel free to correct me, or message me or whatever, and we can talk about it, because I'd love to know other people's opinions. I will say that I loved all the actors. The family was cool, because that's really what you got all of them, and you got them kind of from start to finish. There's the only other kind of thing that I didn't love. Is that there's a little bit of a twist in it. And it's a twist that, to me, I guess kind of made sense. But now that I've kind of had a few minutes to sit down and reflect on it, I don't think it's really necessary. I think it could have been done a little bit cleaner than it came up. I think that the way that the plot twist kind of worked, was just a little bit lazy. to me. It felt a little bit like M. Night Shyamalan, you know, where it's just kind of like thrown together and here you go. And then they sat there and kind of explained the whole thing to you. And you're like, well, I didn't really need that. If you're going to do a twist, then just do a twist and let's move on. But make it something that only the audience knows. That only the audience that is paying attention knows. You know, do a side smile or a sound or something that just kind of gives you the alert and a call back to something that was previous. Instead of just replaying, you know, everything that just happened. And I kind of felt like that was a little bit lazy on Jordan's part. And I'm guessing it's Jordan's part because I know that he wrote and directed it. So that was kind of a big deal to me. I did like the acting. Certainly like the Us family, so like their counterparts or whatever, what have you. They were very cool. It was just a neat aspect. Lupia's counterpart was so robotic, and it was just so neat, like, to see the difference between them. The way that she moved versus the way that Lupia actually moved. The way they talked. It was cool to be able to see that. What I would have preferred is I would have preferred the other characters, their counterparts, to not make any sounds. I am always a fan of having something that is the absence of something. So I like it when a film takes away something from you. So instead of making, loud screaming noises, I like to see something that's just pitched quiet. And to me, it's creepier to just be quiet with a smile on your face than it is to be loud, boisterous, and, you know, have this angry expression. Like, so that, I guess, is just a personal preference for me. But I guess what I want to say in kind of closing for this, is that it is a very good film. I think that, the masses are going to enjoy this more because it is a straight, more horror film. I do think that Jordan is really good. I'm very, very excited for the Twilight Zone. If you guys did not know, he's going to be hosting it. So that's really neat. That's coming out in a few weeks. I think it's April 1st. Don't get me wrong. And then he also got greenlit to do a reboot of Candyman. So I'm very, very excited for that. I love Candyman. I've got a poster up there somewhere if you look out for it. But yeah, so I'm real excited to see what Jordan's doing. And I liked the film. So I think that more masses will like this film versus Get Out that did have a little bit more of an attention span issue. So I guess what I want to say in closing on this is that go see it, support good films, support films that you like, support films that are good films, because they are really good films. So thank you guys so much for supporting me, supporting House of Tortured Souls, and just kind of keep tuned to us. We've got amazing, amazing things coming on. And if you guys have other questions, if there's something that you really want me to review, by all means, do it. Write it in a comment. I'd be happy to look at it. I know that we've got quite a few new things coming on. I know I'm going to do first impressions on Pet Sematary that's coming out soon. So if you guys have any questions on that, feel free to post those in the comments, and we'll kind of go from there. So thank you guys so much, again, for all the support and the love. Be sure to share the video. Be sure to leave me, some nice comments, or some not so nice comments if you really want to. I can take it. I'm an adult. So thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.